We're live. What are you?
That is crazy. You couldn't like say, hey, we're
Well, it's 7. I want to go on live. We on our little show, our little thing. I wanted to come on at 7. So, how are you?
You talking to me?
I mean,
I'm the only one here, right? Well,
here.
we got a whole bunch of people here.
Oh, hi, hi, Kisses and Crumbs community. Hello. Welcome to Kisses and Crumbs Live.
All right. Well, I'm
granny glasses.
Your granny glasses?
Yeah. I wore them on their episode, and I was like, those are granny glasses.
Well, I'm doing well. I'm doing pretty good. I feel like.
How was your day? What did you do today?
So first, I went to a seminar. It was a seminar on getting government contracts for businesses. It was a really good seminar. I ran into some friends at the seminar, which was really surprising to see, but really encouraging. And I think what's interesting is that once I saw them in the room, at first I felt a little, in the full transparency, I felt a little funny. I felt like, oh my gosh, I know them. It wasn't a full room full of strangers where, you come in and you'll never meet them again. So it's just, you're just so focused on the information. But now I had people in the room that I know. But what was cool about that was now I have people in the room that I know.
Right.
And so afterwards we were talking about the experience, and it was on a different level than I could have had in terms of conversations with a stranger. Mm-hmm. And so we were all thinking about, okay, how could we collaborate together? How could we work together? And we thought that was really a good line of thinking. And because we had already built that relationship, friendship, then it makes it easier now to talk. Like a lot of times people feel like, okay, well, my business stuff is private. I can't share that with my friends. No.
Gatekeeping.
Yeah. I mean, they learn from you, you learn from them, and both of you benefit. So it's a win-win. So it's in a way, not as deep or intense as marriage, but it does resemble that give and take, that share.
It's a relationship. Relationships are complex, and
right.
they really, one relationship flows into another. So however you are as a mate, a spouse, I'm sure there are elements of that you have with your friends as well. So it's symbiotic.
Yes. All right.
So let's see. And then what was after that? What'd you do after that?
So after that, I came home and spent some time with
tell the truth. Don't even.
I did. I absolutely did. I shared with you the information that I've
and then couldn't wait to hit the door. I gotta go take this back to Best Buy.
And I did make a return. How was your day?
It must have been. I've been working all day.
And what have you been working on?
Just things that I had to take care of. Okay. And for the last 3 hours, I have been doing 6th grade school.
Because he has science.
He has science and social studies tests both tomorrow. So we've been going over all the things. So
okay. And that's real. I'm sure a lot of parents that are out there, when they have to crack open those books again and help their child through it, are like,
and I'm a flashcard girl. And so everything that he has, we make flashcards for. And I was writing it out. And then I said, wait a minute, this is for you. I said, do you know how long it's been since I've been in 6th grade? my penmanship is a lot faster and neater. So sometimes it's just better to just do that. But anyway, let's get on to the...
My day is a lot better now because I'm here with you. It is.
Butter in the bread.
All right. Well, now let's talk about episode 11.
Episode 11.
Episode 11 with Kim and Keith.
I have to tell my story.
Yeah, you got to tell your story.
So, well, I mean, it's not really a story, but the real of it is I call them Mr. and Mrs. Hayes because how I met Miss Hayes was in a school setting, and so for me, she will always be respectfully Mrs. Hayes. So it's hard to call her by her first name because
you call him Mr. Hayes too.
I call him Mr. Hayes just out of respect. I mean, I really respect them. It's so funny. I ran into her last month at a block party, and I saw her, and I just was like. So excited to see her because I mean the last time I saw her was when we interviewed her, and so and I knew her episode was coming, and it's just I don't know, we always have so much to talk about. I learned from her. I'm sure it's just this kindred spirit kind of thing that we have. I admire them so much, and they kind of, and so we'll get into it because he was in the military, and so I know that life, as an officer's wife, I know that life, and so it is not always easy. I will say that our military life was very smooth. It was easy in the global scheme of things. It was a great life.
Yeah. Well, part of that was because I got the opportunity to go overseas and do different TDYs or tours of duty.
Before
which no, even
yeah,
even when we were together. But I think that those are shorter. You may hear the term deployment. Deployment
Especially
means that you're going for a longer period of time and those types of things. And so and right now we probably just need to I guess wish a blessing or a blessing on our troops and the people that are going to go over and do the work that they're being asked to do. With honor, with respect, with dignity, and all of those things.
And it can't be easy. And
it's not easy.
Yeah. Especially for, the parent or the spouse or the person that is home and, missing them and, praying for them and just, that's not an easy life. And we didn't necessarily experience it that way. I mean, you did have some TDYs and stuff like that. And I was like,
Yep.
But then, that was the height of the, what ward, how do they call that? What was the war that they call, when like Iraq and stuff like that? What do they call that? Like, what was it?
Well, that was Desert Storm.
Was that Storm? I thought Storm was like
that was Iraq.
It just kept going because I remember.
No, the War on Terror.
Okay, War on Terror. Okay,
right.
Because Storm was like when I was
beginning younger.
Yeah,
right.
Well, beginning. I remember I was in college and my cousin was there, and that was Storm. So he was a generation earlier. Than us. But anyway, I said all that to say that yes, we please, keep our military members in your thoughts and in your prayers.
And their spouses and the people that are supporting them at home and going through whatever challenges or stress that they're going through, going from basically being a two-parent household to being a single parent household to a certain degree. And so that can be stressful. And then, there's also challenges when that service member comes back to the home and now has to reintegrate, having a different perspective, different mindset, different experiences, having to come back and try to integrate into his or her family.
Right.
And so that's challenging. And so we want to definitely be a support for them. That's part of, I think, our long-term plan for Kisses and Crumbs is to really develop anywhere there is a gap, a hole, or any type of circumstance that could cause a marriage to be weakened or stressed or not succeed. We need to be there. We need to develop something to bridge that gap for people. And so that's part of what we want to do with Kisses and Crumbs. So Kisses and Crumbs is not just a podcast, even though we're having fun and enjoying getting to know all these wonderful people and their lives. It is more than that. And we're going to be very seriously, very soon, looking at how we can expand it so that it helps more people and blesses more people that engage.
So more on that in a little bit, but we're going to talk about Mr. and Mrs. Hayes.
Episode Kim and Keith.
Yes.
Okay. I'll call it Mr. and Mrs. Hayes too.
Just for me, it's so hard. Like I did it in the interview, but it is so hard because it's just, I finally know them as Mr. and Mrs. So anyway, so I wanted to talk about what
I'll start. Okay. So I love that they met in college. They were friends that secretly liked each other. But didn't really reveal it until a little bit later. I thought that was a neat part of their relationship. Yeah. I also thought that Mrs. Hayes was a little bit shy about saying, how much she really liked him at that particular time. And I won't go as far as to say head over heels, but she was kind of like, oh well, things just kind of work together, and we just spend a lot of time with each other. So sometime between the time they met and the time later on, somewhere in there, love happened.
Well, she said so. If you have not watched the episode, it is season 1, episode 11, and she said that at some point she was like, okay, let's stop playing games. Because what happened was she went to a party and she expected him to be there. She was there with her friend and she expected him to be there, and he never showed up. And so she was just kind of like waiting around. And then her and her friends kind of started getting into it because her friend was ready to leave. And she was like, no, I want to stay because I want to see him. And he was like, what? Okay. She was like, well, why don't you just tell the man you like him, And then she was like, okay, so to avoid me getting into it with my friend, let me just be honest instead of holding that information, And so it is hard to, sometimes be honest with your feelings because you don't know if it's going to be reciprocated.
Yeah.
And so I can understand, but at some point you just gotta say, hey, look, I really like you. And it's interesting because it's hard to know when to do that as well. Like at what point, because it's going to leave you wide open, for, a yay or a nay. And so I can understand it being difficult to kind of just be open.
Yeah. And I think that's a key point. We're always talking about, when you fall in love, when does it happen, when you get butterflies and so forth. But I love the fact that when he didn't show, she felt some kind of way. She felt sad, maybe disappointed, maybe, let down a little bit. And then at that point, she probably realized, you know what? I love this dude. Oh, man. I like him. No, because I can imagine. I could imagine that for someone who might not think that she was that far into it, then to realize, yes, I really missed him and I wanted to spend that time with him.
What's super interesting is, we talk about butterflies. We're always like asking our guests, what do you think about what butterflies, and some people explain it differently. Like I remember someone said that butterflies is something that happens when you get nervous, how I see butterflies, and it may be, this is just how I encapsulate it, but it may be off, but y'all leave in the chat what butterflies mean. And even if you're at the rewatch, we would still love to hear from you what butterflies really mean. But when I think of butterflies, I feel like it's that giddiness that you feel, that excitement that you feel inside when you know that you're getting ready to see the person that you love. Like I kind of even look at it, and I'm, like if you were to go on a trip and you come back and I'm driving up, to Atlanta airport and I'm like, oh, I'm about to see him. I have that little excitement in my tummy, or inside, not tummy, but inside my gut, maybe like inside of who I am. That to me is what butterflies are. Just excited to be around that person. Like if you're standing you're at a party, and you walk across the room and then you come back and I look up and I'm like, oh, it's you, that is to me what butterflies are. And so, I think that it's so important to marry someone that, you continually have that feeling for, because it keeps,
And
It keeps
what's
the spark alive.
Yes, and what's so great about that is that they were friends first.
Right.
So
Oh,
not only did they have the spark and, the excitement, but before that they spent time helping each other, connecting with each other,
mhm,
building a friendship, empathizing with one another, being there for one another.
mhm,
And so when the spark finally happened, bam, it was like right there.
right.
It's a no-brainer now,
Yeah.
So I thought that was great.
And so when he was in school, he was in ROTC.
Hmm.
And so that meant that he would spend time in the field or field training. And so he
Hmm.
would leave, for field training. And as soon as he finished, he would come back, right?
Yes, yes, that was
Right.
nice.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
so was that after they graduated or was that while they were in school?
Field training is while they're in school
Okay.
still.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that means, during that time, if he was in an ROTC program in
Hmm.
college, then they would have certain periods of time where they would go and they would do training and
Okay.
then come back to the
Yeah.
come back to
So,
the
and
unit.
it was when he came back, it was kind of like, I gotta see her.
Yes.
This is,
Yes.
I want to be in her presence. So, that you feeling somebody when it's like, I can't wait to, I'm done.
Yeah.
I want to go spend my
Yeah.
time with her. So I really like
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
So something else that,
That was squadron officer school for me.
yes,
So when I went, I had to go to Maxwell Air Force Base for
it's
squadron.
here, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, Alabama, and
Oh,
so
Alabama.
and so basically, I went there, and I was there. I was in an apartment and going through the training, academic and physical, and all that type of stuff. And so I would get back and close the door. I'd be like, you know. And so when I was done, I was really just like, I was out of
I
there.
remember.
So excited to get back to you. Uh, yeah, that was wonderful.
Okay, so what else? Oh. So something that their episode had us cracking up.
Yeah,
At
I
there
thought it
was
was great.
points that had us cracking up, but one of them was, I think it was the question, what's one of the biggest annoyances and how do you cope with it?
Mhm.
And I hope that you all like us asking that question because as we all know, people who have been married, and people who have not been married, there will be things that your spouse does that annoys you. I mean, we're just people. We're different people coming
Mhm.
together, but their answer to that question was, so I guess at some point, Mr. Hayes would snore a lot, so he,
Mhm.
went to the doctor, and they said, "What will help you out is a CPAP," and so she would, kind of like mention, like, "You gotta wear a CPAP. You gotta wear a CPAP." And so what she started doing, before he got the CPAP, she she would kind of kick him in the bed, like as they were sleeping, to like help him to like stop snoring. And so the what makes it kind of funny is the fact that now she wears a CPAP
Yeah,
too, so they're twins.
yeah.
But they find the humor in it. But the thing too
They
about
said
that
they look
is,
like fighter pilots.
yeah, I think you said that, but that's so funny. But the interesting thing is now they get the best sleep
Yes, they
because
said.
they're not, struggling to breathe. But it's really funny how that was her annoyance, and now it became part of
Yeah.
her life too because she wears one too. So they sleep soundly and
Mhm.
have a great day the next day.
And I love how she described his car too
Oh,
when they were
excuse me.
dating. So he had a Plymouth Fury, 1972 Plymouth Fury. It was beige. And when she first saw it, she was like, "Why is he pulling up in a bulldozer?"
No, but what's even
was hilarious.
funnier, I hope this is just a little behind the scenes, but excuse me. What's even funnier, so I didn't know what that was. So I was like, yesterday or 2 days ago, I was kind of like looking it up, like, what does that look like? And so I saw it and I took a picture and I sent it to her and I was like, is this what it looked like? And she was like, yeah, that's it. But that would look way better than the one I had. So I thought that was really funny.
Yeah. So the other part was understanding when we did talk about the challenges that they face as a couple. They talked
Okay.
about when she lost her
Excuse me for 1
father.
second.
Oh, we'll take a second here. Okay. All right. So I'll keep going. All right. So they talked about this cycle of grief. And I like that there was this appreciation when she lost her father and then he lost his mother. Allowing your spouse to be vulnerable, allowing them to hurt, empathizing with that hurt, maybe comforting them during that hurt or doing what you can. A lot of times there's no way you could take away the hurt. But what you can do is be there and take some of the other things that stress them, the other things that add to it. Maybe you could take those off. So indirectly, it may help relieve some of the stress that they might be going through. It's kind of similar to when, I know in our culture, when someone passes away, everybody brings food, and people bring meals to try and kind of relieve the stress on the family that's going through the loss. And so, in the same way, when your spouse goes through a loss, it's good to allow them the time to be vulnerable. Allow them to be vulnerable. If they can't be vulnerable with you, who else can they be vulnerable with? Okay. So whatever you got going on at the time, that's the time to put that to the side, to allow your spouse to be safe around you and vulnerable around you. Um, so, some people feel like, being vulnerable means you're being weak, or, told that they're being weak or too sensitive. That's not true. We're humans. So when something tragic happens, it's okay to let those emotions or affect out. And your spouse should be the one to understand. Your spouse should always be a safe, soft, and sanctified place to land. Safe, soft, and sanctified place to land. Okay. And so when we talk about sanctified, what I mean by that is, non-judgmental, someone that is encouraging your best, um, your altruist or your best self, is what we mean when we talk about someone that is sanctified, or sanctifying the other person, or helping the other person, or making sure that they're in right standing or moving forward. So, safe, soft, and sanctified. Okay.
Yeah. So
Thoughts on that?
I'm
You
sorry.
okay? How you
Yeah,
feeling?
no, I am the person who gets the tickle in their throat and like it must be particles or something. I don't know. But one thing that I wanted to bring up, that was good. One thing I wanted to bring up too was that I just, I love to shout out the husbands that are like gift givers, like he's a very good gift giver. And I just think that that's so cool because, you know, um for a man to give a gift, it's just, I think it's different because as moms and as wives and women, we give gifts, but I think that it's just so something very like romantic or something just very like sincerely like sweet and masculine sweet masculine, that's funny, but about it, and I appreciate that because he was the better gift giver. I just wanted to point that out. Y'all have to go and listen to their cookie jar questions because that came out.
So do you think all women are gift givers?
No, I mean, I don't think that all women, but I would think typically, like I think typically, as wives and as mothers, that's something that we probably, if you had to compare, like, this trait versus this trait of men and women, I think that it may be higher in women. Could be wrong, but that's just my understanding, or like my thought process of who would be a good gift giver.
Okay.
But
Okay.
it is, I mean, it's not necessarily true because you're
Well,
probably
we
a
need
better
to
gift.
talk about, we also need to talk about what makes a good gift.
It's thoughtful. It's thoughtful. I
Thoughtfulness.
don't think just like going to the store, saying, give me one of those. Like that's not it. It's the thoughtfulness. It's
the time
the
invested.
care and the concern of like what you're getting. So yeah, I mean, I think it's those things.
Yeah.
And I think that it's
the time spent crafting the gift and being thoughtful about how it's presented.
Yeah, I mean, I think that too.
Taking time to make sure it's not just a quick pull off the shelf. Here you go.
Well, here's the deal. I think it has a lot to do with kind of maybe how you're raised or whatever. Like if before I met you, I may get you a gift and just be like, oh, and just bring it to you in the box that it came in. But over time, I've learned to like wrap it, make it look pretty, add some color and dimension and some flavor to it, write on it. Like there's different things that I've learned since, I was with you. Like I've always been crafty and creative. So that's something that I've always done. But just making it like making that gift like just sparkle on the outside just as much as whatever the gift is on the inside. I think that's something that you have done. And so now I do it. I'm like, oh no, he not gonna my gift. My gift gotta look good too.
Are you doing just so I won't talk about you?
No, but I want because I know that that's how you give gifts. Like I want to meet that standard. I can't just bring you something. I have to like put it in a gift bag, put the tissue in it, and stuff like that. So that's how you are.
Do you think that's important? Why do you think now versus before? Like before you thought, okay, you may have thought, okay, that's not really important. Important is that I got him a gift.
Well, before you, I was like a teenager. So, I mean, I literally have grown and learned, like I was still figuring out who I was when I first met you, I think it was a 19. So, it's just something that I've had to.
Let's lean in a little bit.
Oh, lean in a little bit. Yes, okay.
Yeah. You lean into the side like
it's just comfortable. But anyway, yeah. But we're getting to the end. So, is there something else that because we can just talk about that forever?
Yes.
One other highlight because we're at the end, and there's a couple things that I want to
have financial mindset.
Oh yeah.
I think that's important to talk about finances before you get married and really have the same financial mindset around spending and saving and building something together. So I'll just say that that's something to ask and to inquire about is their financial mindset.
So.
And relationship with God.
Oh, that's critical.
Yeah,
it's essential. And always having a spiritual guidance. If having a spiritual walk is very important to you, having that guidance from someone that you trust and that you respect, being able to have someone that you can talk to when you are, having trouble. Oh, and that was something else that she said was, I love this. This was Mrs. Hayes' sprinkle of wisdom. She said that maintenance or pre-maintenance is important. So, don't think, oh, well, I'm going to go to counseling after something happens. It's good to go preventatively to work on things, work on skills, work on issues that may come up, and so that you will already be able to talk about or work through, issues that will come. And again, that's, premarital counselor. We cannot stress that enough. You can do it without it, but it just makes it's like putting oil in your car. It just makes it run better.
Right.
If you run a car without oil, it's eventually going to seize up. And so the oil is, putting premarital counseling in your tank, so that it can run smoothly. And then okay.
No. Can I say one thing about that? Because there's some people that don't like counseling, don't believe in counseling, don't want to go to counseling and so forth. So I want to challenge those people that feel that way. I cannot change how you feel. That's how you feel. That's what you want to do with your life and your marriage. That's fine. But I will ask you then, what are you going to do about the problem that you have? If you're not going to get another person to help you with that, what are you going to change? What are you going to sacrifice? What are you going to give up? What are you going to start doing better at in order to change that situation, because it's not going to change if you just sit and stare at it. So, and the only way to find out what you need to change is to talk to your spouse and figure out what your plan is. Because, you know, you get to that point as a married couple where you say, it can't stay like this. We got to do something. We got to change something. So 9 times out of 10, it's going to be something that you have to sacrifice, lay down, or say, I won't do that anymore, or I'll change in this way, and mean it and stick to it.
I think that is if they want to change. Because sometimes, I don't know for sure, because I've never been in, well, I think that sometimes for sure that a person may not want to change.
Right.
They're
That's
comfortable with how it is, and they, you know, if it's just comfortable, it doesn't affect them. The thought of me like, oh my goodness, this is the end, we can't go forward, to me it's like, whatever I need to do. But some people come to that impasse and they're like, I don't want to change.
Right.
And so that it goes to the next level of not changing.
And that's the reason, that's one of the reasons why you would go see a counselor, because a counselor could help expose and help you understand and gain insight to why that particular behavior characteristic is so important to change, that it may convince you that that behavior is not worth the stress and the strife that it's causing. And so counselors are really adept, and they have techniques and exercises and so forth to help you understand the value of changing that. And that's, some people don't know how to change. They don't know how. And that's where the counselor comes in. But if you decide that you don't want to go see a counselor, eventually you're going to have to do something about that situation that's going on. And that's all I'm bringing light to. Okay. All right.
So we have come to the end.
Yes, this was the action pack. This is the action pack one.
We let's see who we have up next week. And something I thought, because we are actually on this live and we don't have an audience. Actually, we had one person.
All right. Woo! Shout out.
Thank you for joining us. And but I'll do a thought. Okay. We hadn't even talked about this. So this is just completely a thought. But what if, instead of doing for season 2, because we can go ahead and finish out season 1 coming every Thursday, like we've been doing. But what if we did our once a month, or every twice a month, we did Kisses and Crumbs, but the Word on the Street edition.
Okay.
And maybe live.
Oh,
on YouTube.
Okay.
I think that we would have engagement.
Okay.
And it would be fun and creative. I don't know. We have to talk about it, because that's a whole thing.
Yeah.
But it's a thought. Okay. Oh, Miss Hayes.
Hey. All right.
So anyway, that's a thought.
That's a great thought.
You know, my head's always filled with like ideas of stuff to do.
Wonderful thoughts. Yes.
So next week we have
Mackenzie and Curtis. All right.
This will be our first newlywed couple that we interviewed. And, you know, it really talks to the part of the mate selection, and then how did you know that this was the person, and how did you find it? Because in this dating world now, which is completely different from when we were dating, we had questions, and so they answered our questions of how they met each other, and you know, what was the process, and how did you know?
And everybody needs to watch this one, especially the men. I'm just gonna give a shout out ahead of time. Curtis is ahead of the game. This dude is wise beyond his years. He is dope. I'll tell you, he is just straight. It was a wonderful time just sharing with both of them. But yeah, man, you got to check this one out.
Yes,
for sure.
Yes.
This Wednesday coming up.
Yes. So the last Wednesday of the month. That's incredible.
This is flying by.
But hopefully you will join, or you will do have the rewatch, get a chance to watch the rewatch the replay and leave your thoughts, ideas, and comments.
Yes.
And again, thank you so much, Mrs. Hayes and Mr. Hayes, for I know it sounds funny. Is that what you're laughing at?
No,
I can't bring myself to
it's okay. It's okay.
Oh, Jordan too.
Oh
Yay!
my God, Jordan's here. Cool.
And we're at the end. But anyway, thank you all for showing up, and we love you all, and we'll chat soon. So
All right.
We'll see you next week, same time, same place.
All right.
Have a
Y'all
good
have a blessed
evening.
one.
Bye-bye.
All right. Take care.